Now, you and I were talking before we got on here. You used to live in Brooklyn, right?
Right. Yeah. I lived in I lived in Brooklyn for I won't say the majority. I actually grew up in Queens, but after I went into the military and then I came back out, I moved to Brooklyn. I lived between Brooklyn and California for several years, but I guess at least 15 years of my life or so I lived in Brooklyn, and I went to school in Brooklyn.
Oh, right on. And you say you went to Brooklyn Tech, where all the smarty pants went, right?
Yeah, yeah. I went to where the smarty pants were. I lasted there for about 2 years before they decided that my temperament wasn't good for the school. then I wound up going to school in Queens, finishing the school in Queens at Long Island City High School.
I've seen those kids at Brooklyn Tech. Yeah, you're probably better off not. You're probably better off not being there. So, we were talking about. I live right across from Brooklyn Tech, and so you said it's been like a few years, like about 3 years since you lived here. What do you remember?
Yeah, I moved to Baltimore 3 years ago. Yeah.
What do you remember about Fort Greene in this area? Like some of the things that stick out to you.
Well, for me, like I said, like the later years, like I say, close to before I moved away from New York, Fort Greene was actually kind of a fancy area compared to where the parts of Brooklyn I lived in Bed-Stuy. But I know like back in the day, Fort Greene was I guess the most. When I thought about Fort Greene, I thought about the projects mainly there because I used to visit there quite a bit. But to me, like I said, I know you said things have changed, but for me, I remember Fort Greene actually, as you know, they started building up like the downtown Brooklyn area. It became a lot more fancy than it was when I was younger.
Yeah, it's gotten fancy. They have, they got rid of Brooklyn used to have like that height limit for buildings, right? So that's why all you saw like brownstones and stuff like that. Well, they got rid of that, and now if you go down Fulton, like you're going towards Flatbush and the Fulton Mall and that area right there.
Oh yeah, they got skyscraper. I mean, they got tall residential buildings going up there.
Yeah, and then as you're going towards Brooklyn Bridge too, they've got a whole bunch over there. They have this place where I actually got the jibber jabber. I got that at City Point, and they had a place over there to get the woogie boogie is what I call the big C, not cancer. Try not to get taken off the air. We're using code words, everybody.
I say, we got all kind of code. We got all kind of code going on here.
I know, right? But they have like this big what do they call it? The some big giant theater there now that you can eat in and watch the movies and stuff like that. And they got a Target over there. They got the Target. So and a Trader Joe's down in there. So they got your hipsters are taken care of right there on that spot. It's I want to say that's closer.
That's all City Point now you're talking about?
Yeah, City Point. It's like when you cross over Flatbush on Fulton. It's like, and you take your first right. There's that little square there. I think it's called Albee Square or something.
Albee Square. Yeah, you're talking about where Toys R Us used to be.
Right.
You remember all that Toys R Us there years ago?
I've only been in this neighborhood since 2013. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Toys R Us. Yeah, that was after then. Yeah, Toys R Us was there before then. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you take that, you go right there, and then you take that not the first right, that's Bond Street. Then you go up, and then there's like another one. Yeah, they made like a whole oh shit, I'm trying to destroy the place. They made this whole shopping center thing. They had a Century 21 in there, but it went out of business since that thing happened, and shit started closing. But yeah, they had a place in there where you could get the jibby jab, so that's where I got my Moes. I got 2 Moes that. Anyway, I don't even talk about that because that was like, I had the Big C last year, and lost taste, smell, and I was a little fatigued for about a week, and that was it. But then I got the, and it was like, I took the brown acid. They told me not to take the brown acid at Woodstock, but me, I'm like, I'm shoveling it in. Anyway, but yeah, so that whole area over there's a whole bunch of high rises and shit like that, right across from Long Island University over there. And there's what is that?
Yeah, my aunt used to live right behind there, right behind the LIU, the university apartments or whatever it was called. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they wound up when they decided to turn it into like real condos. They tried to get her out of there for years. But
yeah, I know,
she wound
right?
up hanging until she passed away.
Yeah, they basically say, if you poor, get the fuck out of here. The only reason I can afford to live here, I don't know if you can see it. Let me put on the disappointment cam, because in more ways than one, there's my boy there. He's my spirit animal. But basically, from here, about another foot is the other wall. And then I'm touching the wall on this side. And then over here, I got maybe another 2 feet. So, hence disappointment cam in more ways than one.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I got out. That's one of the reasons I got out of the city, because I was paying for a 2-bedroom apartment in Bed-Stuy, which my area was not the greatest area. I was paying like $1,800 a month in rent, and I said, "Listen, I'm never going to be able to afford a house in New York." So I said, "Let me just try to find someplace where I can get someplace decent." Now I pay half of that, for my house here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's a pretty special situation. The dude that owns this building, it's like one of the last decent mom and pop outfits. That he's like super nice guy. He got I think he got he used to drive a cab, and then he got into a car wreck or something, and he got some settlement back in the 70s. He ended up buying 3 brownstones for like $30,000 a piece.
Oh wow, he made out.
But he was playing the super long game, because when he bought him at the time, Fort Greene was like a war zone, right? He was telling me
I remember.
You go down to Fort Greene Park, chances are you're probably buying drugs if you're not playing basketball, because that's a place where you got your stuff, and according to him, so and he played the
telling me the truth.
Yeah, it's he said this. He planted. There's like a lot of these trees along Fort Greene between DeKalb and Fulton. He planted trees that have been there since he bought these places. So, and they're lovely trees too. It's nice. Now the leaves are falling. The shit's getting all over the sidewalk. Of course, typical New Yorker going to complain about beauty. Beauty being a pain in the ass. But yeah, and then there's Spike Lee's place, his studio.
Yeah, studio. Yeah.
On one of the Saint Streets, or like Saint something. I can't remember. I don't like my neighbors. They're all like Karens and hipsters, so I just kind of stick to myself a little bit, But yeah, I pay $760 a month for this glorified walk-in closet. And there's a building on this side and a building on this side. They both got renovated within the last like 5 to 6 years. And this one over here, it's like one apartment per floor, and I think they're charging like $5,000 a month for each.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like they got a little bit of Whole Foods right over here, and there's some Starbucks around here, so if those are in the neighborhood, you can forget about cheap rent.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that used
Do
to be
you?
my they used to be my joke. Like whenever I lived in any black neighborhood, I said, if you ever see a Starbucks coming soon sign, you're about to get run out of here. That's
That's what
gonna be
my
there
girl
for you.
says. That's what my girl
Yeah,
says. She lives over on the Lower East Side, and she's seeing that happen over in her neighborhood too.
yeah,
She lives with her mom over in public housing, so it's not like she's getting gouged. She's not living in the best of spots, but it's she's not paying like all this crazy amount of money. But she sees all these places that are opening around there that are just like, there's some for low income folks, but the majority of it is just for high income folks, and
yeah,
that's basically what New York's
yeah.
turning into.
But that's what they do. That's how they get the money from the city. They say, we'll give you like 10% affordable housing. You know, and
Yeah,
that one time, I was thinking that my neighborhood, even in Brooklyn, they had built these new buildings, right? And I think it was like supposed to be 20% for low, I guess what they consider low income, but it really wasn't even low income to me because you still had to make like at least 30 or 40 grand, or so around 40, I think, to be able to get in there. But then what they tried to do was they tried to make the people with the lower income, the lower income apartments, come in and go out of a separate entrance. So that
what?
yeah, so that the people who were paying the high rents didn't have to mingle with the other people.
I think my girl was telling me about that too. That there was a building like
Mhm.
that. She said a friend of hers lived in there,
Mhm.
and like she was lower income, and they said, "Oh, you got to go out this way," and she's like,
Yeah.
"Wow, that is fucked up, dude." I didn't. I thought maybe she was just like that was like a one off, but apparently a few places do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that in a few places. Like the one I'm talking about, they wound up fighting it, so they couldn't do it, but it was their original intent.
That is messed up. How do you like Baltimore?
Uh, Baltimore, like I said, I'm kind of in the hood here, but to me, it's not much different than where I lived at in Brooklyn. I'm in a primarily black neighborhood, like I've almost always been. But I mean, I just like the fact that I got myself a decent place, that I could actually afford, and I could raise my kids here, and we could actually maybe every once in a while do something other than come home. Uh,
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you.